Welcome. Welcome to the Contemplative Meditation. I am Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons, the Spiritual Director and Virtual Pastor for Holy Ground Spiritual Center. Welcome to the Contemplative Meditation. You are where you need to be at this moment, in this time, and in this space. If you have been with us, we are continuing our interspiritual meditation, a 7-step process from world spiritual traditions. We started out with motivation, and then we moved to gratitude. And today, we started out with motivation, then we moved to gratitude, then we went to transformation. Next, we focused on compassion. And today, this month, we will focus on mindfulness. Mindfulness. So now is the time for you to get comfortable wherever you are, as you are going to take a moment to pause and to breathe and to meditate. I will lead us in a guided meditation today on mindfulness. So wherever you are, now is the time for you to relax, the time for you to reflect, and the time for you to rest. And for those of you who are going to use this moment to write, I'm going to look. I have my cards. Everyone knows that for each meditation, I have the empowering questions. So there are empowering question cards. And for some of us, when we meditate, it's best for us to do something while we meditate. So, and there are some of us whose spiritual practice is journaling. So, um, this is another place for you to journal. And you don't have to do these things. You can also take a screenshot of it and reflect on it and write about whatever it is later. And when we have our moment of silence later on during this meditation, you can use that time to think about that statement or that question, especially for some of you who find silence uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to pull a card. How appropriate is this one for this month of February? This says, how do I show love to myself and others? How do I show love to myself and others? How do I show love to myself and to others? So this is the journaling prop for today. And this is also the prompt or the meditative question that you can use when we have our moment of silence. If you want something to reflect on other than the thoughts that you have at that moment. How do I show love to myself and others. I have put that at the bottom of the screen in case you want to take a screenshot of it. So now I hope you are in a comfortable position. I also hope that you have created a space that speaks to what you need when it comes to meditation. Some of you may want to light a candle, light an incense. As you see, I am not in my holy room, but I do have my incense with me. Um, some of you may just want to have some fragrance around you, fragrance that make you feel good or moves you to a space of peace and relaxation. Some of you may want to have a glass of water around to see the water, or plants to have a living thing around you. Whatever you need at this moment, a blanket, anything you may need at this moment, I want to take you to that. You here need to our meditation. Today's theme is mindfulness. Here are some ideas or some things that can come to mind when you hear or see or read the word mindfulness. Aware, thinking, experiences, life, important, right now, present, memories, conscious, here, happening, memory. These are some things that come to mind when we think of mindfulness. When it comes to mindfulness, the first thing you want to do is to allow yourself to be in the moment. What better way to do that than to bring attention to your breath? Many people use the breath in spiritual practice and breathing in spiritual practices because it is so powerful. When we think about our breath alone reminds us that we are a living being. Our breath alone reminds us that we get to be, do, live, love, create, express. So as we think about this breath and how it moves in and out our body, remember that everything you need or desire or want to do requires you to put intentional energy into it. There is no energy without breath. I want you to get into a comfortable position as we Rest with this breath. Bring attention to your chest. And as you breathe in, look at how much it's moving. It's rising and falling. If you're not looking, allow yourself to feel the breath moving in your body. To bring attention to breath and your breathing and the fact that you get to be and live and do and sing and love and dance and work and play and create is one way that can move us into living in the spirit of gratitude, aware of the things around us, because we are just able to be around them and it. As you are breathing and thinking about this breath, it's another reminder of not to take things for granted. To live a life of mindfulness means we are present in the moment. The moment we open our eyes, we say thank you for this moment. The moment we brush our teeth and look in the mirror, we express gratitude for the beautiful being we were created to be, to getting dressed, thankful for whoever put the garments together that we wear, thankful for whoever was able to purchase them and the gifts and money and resources it took to get them. Our breath. As you breathe, imagine the goodness of you moving through every cell of your body. Imagine the gratitude you have moving through every cell of your body as you inhale. And as you exhale, imagine releasing any toxicity. Imagine releasing any negative thought, negative memory, negative emotion that you do not want to carry with you in this month. Our breath is a powerful thing. I'll share African American Wisdom with you right now by Catherine Dunham. Go within every day and find the inner strength so that the world will not blow your candle out. This is a reminder that you are in charge of how you move and express yourself and how you decide to use this breath to do good, to be problematic, a breath for life, a breath for death. In order to be mindful and live a life of mindfulness, we must take the time to concentrate. Even with life moving around us, we're in Black History Month. We see immigrants trying to find their way. We see people who are houseless, looking for a house. There are children who need safety. There are children who need homes. There's the constant weather changes and global warming, healthcare issues that people are having. There are a myriad of justice issues of people just trying to live in the best way that they can and love in the way that they were supposed to and live in a way that is healthy and holy. And sometimes it's hard to focus when there's so much noise around you. But to be able to live and be in mindfulness requires us to take a minute, to pause, to focus on the goodness around us. We can do it, even if it takes us moving in a way that is unconventional. Sometimes we may have to hide in a place where we know we are only focusing on what we need to focus on. Sometimes it requires us to create boundaries in which we have to tell people, I need a minute, I need a moment, so we can concentrate on listening and seeing and hearing the messages around us from the divine of our understanding, from the people that we love and cherish, from the universe. Having a moment to concentrate also gives us rest. A moment to rest our mind and not work, but be in the energy and spirit of inquiry and curiosity. Sometimes the concentration allows us to revisit memory that are pleasant and sometimes memories that are not. And we get to see and be in charge of what we will do with it. Give yourself more time to concentrate so you can be aware, listening to the music. There are certain songs that will play at the right time, at the right place. There are people who will walk up to you out of the blue and say something that you may needed to hear, or give you something that you did not know you needed. Being aware of people and how they change around you. Aware of your body and your mind when things show up that question life question your purpose. As things show up for you moving forward, write them down. Text them to yourself. Journal them. And whatever you feel about that, now's the time to be able to visit your emotions and express them in a way that is healthy, because holding things in will not be healthy for you in the long run. Being aware allows us to be awake. This is the same thing as being mindful. Mindful when our temperature change in our body. Mindful when we are around people and we feel indifferent. And we are around people and we feel extra good. Mindful of your energy when you walk into certain rooms. To be aware is to be mindful when something moves you in emotion. Revisiting how you got there and what made you move into that space. There's so many things that can happen, and we can learn from ourselves when we are aware. And sometimes once we find out that we know things, or we have been moved in certain ways, and we've held on to things that were possibly too much capacity, um, we release the tension. Releasing the tension is also part of mindfulness, because you realize that you have held on enough. And now is the time to let people go. Now is the time to let work go that is not healthy for you and find something more rewarding. You let habits go that are not helping you towards your purpose, towards your healing, towards a beautiful and abundant life. Releasing the tension allows you to be able to move in a way that does not restrict. Moving at your own pace, your own speed, your own beat, your own beat, moving, moving in mindfulness, eating in mindfulness, driving in mindfulness, walking in mindfulness, rolling in mindfulness, laying in mindfulness, singing in mindfulness, talking, being mindful of what you say and how you say it, teaching, mindful of the things that are happening around you, preaching, mindful of the cultural context and things happening now in the historical context from what you decide to preach from in your sacred text. Mindfulness and how you interact with people, strangers and friends and family alike. Mindful of how you treat yourself and how you show up for yourself. Mindful, mindful. We're in this meditation of mindfulness. May I become focused and mindful through breathing. This is where it started. As we become focused and mindful in breathing, and we're able to focus on concentration, we bring awareness to our bodies and how we move, how we nourish, how we pleasure our bodies. All of that, my friends, my family, holy grounders, is mindfulness. Thinking before we do, and thinking before we say, and being aware of how things affect us, and aware of how we decide to express our emotions. All of this is part of mindfulness. Remembering this message from Catherine Dunham, go within every day and find the inner strength so that the world will not blow your candle out. In order to do that, you must be mindful of who you are, mindful of what your needs are, mindful of your purpose, mindful of the candle that you are sharing and lighting the world around you. And for those who are writing, the journal prompt is, how do I show love to myself and others? How do I show love to myself and others? I have maybe about 2 more minutes, and this meditation will be on and hopefully living within you. I'm going to read something from Lao Tzu. Empty yourselves of everything. Let the mind become still. The 10,000 things rise and fall, while the self watches the return. They grow and flourish, and then return to the source. Returning to the source is stillness, which is the way of nature. May we be still for a few moments.